Welcome to Appleseed Prep. This is the inches, minutes, and clicks episode. Now, if we take a protractor and I measure off 1 degree of angle, so this is your shooting position, I'm going to measure 1 degree of angle. When we carry that a 1 degree angle out to 100 yards, it is the span of 60 inches. That's a pretty big span. It's not very useful, at least unless we're really poor marksmen. It's not going to be very useful for measuring out to our targets. So fortunately, every degree of angle can be divided up into minutes of angle, and there are 60 minutes of angle in a degree of angle. So imagine this here is 0 degrees, there is basically 1 degree of angle, and now we imagine we are chopping that up into 60 smaller pieces of that 1 degree. So it's a very small unit. And so since we know that 1 degree at 100 yards equals 1 inch, we can figure that a minute of angle, which is 1/60th of a degree, is going to be 1 inch. Now the thing is to keep in mind is what we're trying to do is use a consistent measurement for our marksmanship. Now a degree of angle, of course, that angle increases on into infinity. So we're going to imagine this is not to scale by any means, but let's imagine that this is 1 minute of angle here. It's actually, if I measure it, I think it's about 10 degrees, but we're going to pretend that's 1 minute of angle. Now, okay, that 1 minute of angle at 100 yards equals, we decided, is 1 inch. So, as you can probably guess, a minute of angle at 200 yards is going to be 2 inches. 300 yards is 3 inches. 400 yards is 4 inches. Now we can go back, and at 50 yards, it's a ½ inch. And at 25 yards or 25 meters, it is 1/4 of an inch. Now the target we typically use here for this drill related to our inches, minutes, and clicks and getting your rifle sighted in has, if you notice, 1/4 inch squares. So this one, that's at 25 meters, that is 1 minute of angle. And this square here, which has 4 per side, 4 squares per side, is a 4 minute of angle square. Now you can think of, let's go back and recalculate. Let's look at this as a 4 minute of angle. Okay, so 4 minute of angle we can see is 1 inch, and this is at 25 meters. So 4 minute of angle at 100 yards is going to be 4 inches, 200, 8 inches, 300, 12 inches, 400, 16 inches, and if we go out to 500, it's 20 inches, which coincidentally is about the width of the upper body of a male human being. So now what we're using this for, we're using it for first off, we're going to use it for adjusting the sights on your rifle. And so let's assume that you're shooting at this target and you hit over here. And let's assume you put all 10 shots into the same hole. Let's just make some assumptions right now. And we can see that that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of angle to the left. And it's also, or 1 1/4 inches to the left. So it's 1 1/4 inches, and in minutes at 25 meters, 1 1/4 inches is 5 minutes of angle. Now what you're going to want to do is write that down. Hopefully you got a notebook with you, and you can say, I need to move. So I've shot all my shots. They all went to a single hole right there. I was shooting dead center right here. They all went in right there. I need to move my sights to the right 5 minutes of angle. So I write that down, 5 minutes of angle. I need to move it right, 5 minutes of angle when I get back to my rifle. And once you're in preparation period, you can get down your rifle and make adjustments to your sighting system. Now if it's optics, it's fairly easy. You'll remove, in this case, the cap on the side of the turret typically. And now what you need to know is what your optic does, how many minutes of angle it does per click. So if it's a pretty coarse optic and it says 1 minute of angle per click, then you only have to do 5 clicks right. If it's a 1/4 minute of angle, which is fairly common, you're going to have to do basically 4 clicks for every minute of angle. So you're going to have to do 20 clicks to get this on sight. Now, of course, there may be some people that can put every shot in the hole. Say doing 5 shots, they all go in the same hole. But typically what's going to happen is your group's going to look like this. Okay, so there's our group. You can see we were shooting at this target. We've got a 5-shot group. Let's say that the center of this group, we're going to call the center as being right there. So we are high, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are 6 minutes of angle high. So now in this instance, we need to go back to our rifle and click down 6 minutes of angle. And if you got a 1/4 minute per click, that's 4 times 6 is 24 clicks to get your rifle on target there. Now the other thing you use for this measurement is to actually measure your group. So what we're going to hope to be doing is shooting into, as Appleseed riflemen, our goal is 4 minutes of angle. And that means putting all of your shots into this black square at 25 meters. Now that's the equivalent of doing 1 inch. This 1 inch square at 25 meters, like I said earlier, is equivalent of doing 4 inches at 100 yards. Now a lot of times you see people say, well, you know, I shoot my rifle is a minute of angle, or shoots under a minute of angle, or 1.5 minute of angle. And it's certainly possible that the rifle is capable of that, but that's probably from a bench, and not only a bench, it's probably from a ransom rest or some kind of lead sled or something that's going to completely lock that rifle down and basically maybe electrically pull the trigger so there's nothing touching the rifle. Now, there may be people that can shoot into this square, say from the prone position at 100 yards. I'm not one of them. And all we're going to do is try to change you to shoot into a square that's 4 minutes of angle at 100 yards. Which would be so. If we can shoot into that square at 100 yards, great. And our goal is to be able to shoot that 20-inch target at 500 yards, or what is sometimes called the rifleman's 1/4 mile. Now, optics are easy to make adjustments. Now, if you're running iron sights, you're gonna have to consult your manual for the sights. Like if you're running tech sights, you'll be making windage adjustments on your rear sight, and I believe you can make also some adjustments on some rifles with the front sight. Like of the ARs, you can raise and lower the front sight to make adjustments. But your adjustments are not as precise as on optics, so they're a little bit more coarse. Now, the one thing to remember, and this applies to both. Typically, both your optics and your iron sights, is that you can actually use this. This is something we actually teach in the known distance Appleseeds. So once you qualify, get your rifleman's patch at the 25 meters, and you can then go to a known distance events. But one of the things they teach there is range estimation. And so if you say you know that your front sight is 7 minutes of angle, what does that tell you? Okay, 7 minutes of angle. Front sight is 7 minutes angle. That means at 100 yards it's going to cover 7 inches. At 200 yards it's going to cover 14 inches. 300 yards it's going to cover 21 inches. 400 yards, 28 inches. And at 500 yards, 35 inches. So you can actually calculate do range estimation using your front sight or the reticle on your optic. Now, a number of scopes have what are called mil dot reticles, which are really, really good for doing range estimation. And there's actually a really cool program available on Windows and the Mac and Linux, called Long Range Shooting Simulator. It's by Shooter Ready, and it has this really cool basic training on using the mil-dot reticle for range estimation. So I highly recommend it. It's quite affordable, well worth it. I bought it. My version is really old. I got it like 20 years ago, and I've learned a lot from it. So anyway, that's a quick overview of inches, minutes, and clicks. So just kind of, they'll go over it with you at the first day of the Appleseed event to help you get your rifle sighted in, and hopefully you can get them sighted in before you show up. That'll make things a lot easier for you. But it's a tool to help you do that fast. Oh, one cool thing we've also do to test like our optics is we'll do a 5-shot group into this target, and then we'll take our optic and we'll click it up, say we want to raise the point of impact 10 minutes of angle, but we still shoot at this target, and then we see where our group is up here, and then we click it to the right and another 10 minutes of angle and shoot another group, again shooting at this target, and see where our group is there, and then we click down 10 minutes of angle on our optic and shoot again at this target and see where our group is there. And then we return back to the left 10 minutes of angle, which should put us right back on the original target when we're shooting at it, and we should have nice groups, boom, 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 all the way around. And it accomplishes two things. One is it verifies that your scope can come back to 0 consistently, and then two, you'll be able to actually see if your scope may say, maybe your scope says 1/4 minute of angle per click. But what if when you actually test it, in actual testing, you find out it's actually 1/2 minute of angle per click? Well, now you have some important information about your equipment. So again, that's a quick overview of inches, minutes, and clicks. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next episode.